Donald Trump's narcissistic ego makes him unfit U.S. president, Democrat politician warns. A Kentucky Democrat lawmaker has become the latest person to openly question President Donald Trump's mental state. John Yarmuth suggested the billionaire property developer is totally unfit to serve as president and argued he is dangerous. Mr. Yarmuth, who is serving his fifth term as a congressman, said the president did not look like someone who is in control of his faculties. He said Mr. Trump is not concerned with what happens after his round of applause stops and appears incapable of thinking through the consequences of his actions. He is demonstrating on a daily basis that he totally unfit for the office he serves in, Mr. Yarmuth said in a speech to a local division of the NAACP. He is, in my opinion, a dangerous president. I'm not sure of his mental state, but I know that he doesn't portray someone who is in control of his faculties. The Democrat expressed his concerns about the lack of political experience of those in the Trump cabinet, arguing the U.S. is in uncharted territory. Mr. Trump is the first person to be elected as U.S. president with zero political or military experience. He seems unwilling and/or incapable of thinking about or considering what happens after he acts or says something. He doesn't consider the ramifications of what he does, and in that realm, it's always about what happens next. He doesn't ever seem to think about the consequences. He doesn't seem to care about what happens once the applause stops. He seems to be in it solely for the applause, and that's what somebody with his ego and narcissism would be, he added. That's really bad for the country. Mr. Yarmuth argued world leaders were totally freaked out by the U.S. Commander-in-Chief because they did not know what to take seriously. Earlier in February, 35 mental health professionals, including psychiatrists, psychologists and social workers, signed an open letter warning Mr. Trump's mental state makes him incapable of serving safely as president. While it is generally frowned upon among the profession of psychiatry to offer a professional opinion of the mental state of a public figure they have not examined in person, as dictated by a passage in the American Psychiatric Association's Code of Ethics known as the Goldwater Rule. However, writing in a letter to the New York Times, the doctors said they had decided it was necessary to break their silence on the issue because they were worried too much is at stake.